Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is EIG's first in a series of webinars focused on unleashing the power of ERP software and warehouse automation. With us, we have our guest panelists, Dani Kaplan and John Cosgrove, and we'll be talking about a lot of best practices today. And we look forward to your feedback throughout the webinar. We appreciate you taking your time to join us today on building your evolving resilient enterprise, and we hope that your family are healthy and safe. This is the first of a series of webinars, the power of ERP software modernization and warehouse automation. Our second webinar will be focused on the last mile, and our third webinar will be creating a more efficient warehouse. We look forward to this being an interactive webinar. Please use the chat to poll EV throughout the webinar, and we'll be looking at your responses throughout. Again, pollev.com/Jim DeVries 073. My name is Jim DeVries, founder and president of Enhance International Group. I will be today's host, and with us we have Tim Kirsch, who will be taking in your questions and making sure that they are asked throughout the webinar. So please enter in your thoughts in the chat. And again, today we have with us two very experienced supply chain tenured folks, veterans, focused on ERP, MRP software, and advanced handling equipment. A few words, Dani, of introduction. You're on mute, Dani. John, a few words of introduction. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm John Cosgrove. I'm the president and co-founder of Atlantic Handling Systems here located in New Jersey. We happen to be a division of Mayberry Material Handling, which is up in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Together, our companies make us one of the largest material handling and storage system providers in the whole Northeast. And we do work throughout the whole country.
Thanks, John. And Dani?
Hi, I'm Dani Kaplan. I represent supply chain software, market, distribution food, complete integrated software that has warehouse management and enable companies to do M&A and buy distributor and distributor manufacturer and don't end up multiple ERP that don't integrate to each other.
Great, Dani. And just a bit of background on EIG. EIG is made up of about 50 consultants, consulting companies, and SaaS providers. And EIG serves as the master integrator to provide you access to the best and brightest companies. Again, we want to make this a very informal but webinar. So please do ask your questions throughout the webinar and answer the poll EV questions. John, introduction, please.
Okay, Atlantic Handling Systems, what we do is we design, supply, service all types of material handling equipment. We're an engineering-based company, so we provide for our customers and clients engineering solutions that help them to fulfill the needs of their customers. And in a whole wide range of supply chain, we've done work. In my 43 years of experience, I've done work in all types of manufacturers and distribution centers. We can do a lot of different things. We have a CAD design team, and we have in-house project management. We represent a lot of fine manufacturers, and we have conveyor service, and we've designed and manufactured many things. And we also work with Dani Kaplan, who's going to talk to you about an affordable warehouse management solution that can provide great productivity for your employees.
Dani?
The supply chain software represents the full software, actual distribution food, single database software. A manufacturer, distributor, and a distributor could be a manufacturer and does not keep jumping the screens. It's a full warehouse automation software. Has warehouse has where and the IBM comes on part of the software. Real-time information, any information you would like. Next, Jim.
Okay, Danny. Thanks, Danny. By the way, your sound is coming in and out, Danny. Your speaker is coming in and out.
Is it better now?
Yeah, a little better now. Enhance International Group, as I mentioned, is a group of passionate experts. We bring the best of the best. Our wheel here, our strategy wheel, driving our execution wheel. We believe that a very solid strategy, one rotation of a good strategy, let's say an automated ecosystem, and building that is extremely important and drives your visibility of many rotation. Very many rotation. With that, let's just go back to see who we have. Fantastic. We have folks from from India. Welcome from India, from Hicksville, New York. Looks like we have a very nice cross-pollination of folks. So thanks for joining us. We will be covering, this webinar is this Unleashing the Power of ERP Software, Modernization, and Warehouse Automation. Our next webinar will focus on optimizing the last mile, outbound and returns on September 12th. So we look forward to you joining us for that webinar. And webinar 3 is creating a more efficient warehouse, doing more with less space. Deliverables today is real-time information across multiple locations. That's what we want you to get out of this webinar. Discover opportunities to increase productivity, achieve data accuracy by streamlining user interface efforts, by actively tracing your materials and using RFIDs and or smartphones, and turnkey ERP warehouse management system and material handling automation to drive productivity. So with that, the agenda today is overcoming legacy issues, discover how to eliminate the fear of upgrading your legacy software and gain real-time inventory visibility across multiple warehouse locations. Number 2, embracing warehouse automation. Learn about the latest automation solutions that will revolutionize your processes, from smart picking and packing to automated inventory management. The third topic is unleashing the power of a unified database, led by Dani, and eliminate the integration challenges, streamline your workflows, optimize operations, and achieve unmatched efficiency with a single unified MRP and ERP database, and then leveraging intelligent insights, making informed decisions about procurement by leveraging intelligent insights into inventory levels and supplier performance. With that, some of your challenges that you may be having today, we'll come back to this poll in a few minutes as we address the challenges. So some of the supply chain challenges we've had and seen in the marketplace are supply chain shortages and excess inventory. This has been going on for at least the last 18 months, 24 months because of COVID, people over ordering, the shortages causing overages and what we call the bullwhip effect. Another challenge that we have is, of course, the labor availability, with a lot of folks retiring, and there is even a greater reason to automate. Real estate costs and availability. We all know that inflation is going up, interest rates are going up, warehouse space is becoming more expensive, but at the same time, there seems to be more capacity in the market for warehouse space. So we're going through some interesting times here, but very tumultuous. And then the warehouse equipment availability, just being able to buy a forklift and conveyor, there's a shortage of a lot of these different equipment. Dani, any thoughts about some of the challenges that you're seeing?
Yes, what the issues is people they don't have legacy software. Because of the inventory issue, they're going to buy a standalone warehouse software. That's create integration issue. The inventory is not accurate. I have a case study of a client that we just got recently who has two separate ERP software, legacy ERP, and they bought a warehouse software. They have integration issue. The legacy software that says they have inventory, and the warehouse software doesn't find it. It's a huge issue for them.
Thanks, Dani. And John, your thoughts on some of the...
Yeah, one of the most glaring parts about this, Jim, is the real estate cost. We have clients that their leases are coming up and they take a look at what they were paying and what they might have to pay. And it costs a lot of money to do it. So I think that the real estate costs are vital. And what we try to do is through storage and design is to engineer a system where we can get more in, use their height. And automation is now becoming something that we really have to look at because of the labor shortages that are happening. People can't get employees, so we're replacing that with machines. And we have some clients that at the current time they actually have more employees on their payroll than ever because the inability of some of the people to come to work, and they have there's days when if they need 300 employees. They only have 200 employees, and it's a big ongoing problem. And the equipment right now, anything that has to do with chips or lithium batteries or anything like that, the forklifts, some of the forklift manufacturers are still out into 2024 if you order new trucks. On conveyors, we have the same thing with controls. And so what we really need to do is try to optimize the storage that people are doing and make, get them through these tough times. And we're doing that by, our design and using the cube that they have. But I know a lot of real estate people that I've been speaking to, their clients are, they're really in sticker shock when they see the price of what warehousing costs today compared to what it was if they were 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then interest rates don't help either.
Exactly. They've doubled.
They doubled. So it's a tough time to be buying real estate today. And that goes right into our second slide here of just the average size of the warehouses has gone up dramatically. A typical facility is 50% larger than before. And, as it says there, 87% of all the processes are planning expansion by in 2024. So everybody's looking to expand. A lot of this is due, of course, to the packaging required, the excess packaging required of moving things straight to the door, which will be a topic of our webinar in the future. And so ERP implementations are that don't meet the requirements because they weren't built for this type of transactions. So most of them do not meet these requirements. Plus, the ERPs are not warehouse management systems like what we have with Dani's VAI, and a lot of things are being lost from the pickers, and a lot of 67 2/3 of the folks indicate that being out of stock after an order is placed. So
and Jim, can I just add to that?
Please add.
One of the problems today is that a lot of people had a problem getting goods in. So now they were over ordered to try to keep themselves in a spot where they're not going to be out of product. That has forced, a big problem in a warehouse And with pickers spending 55% of their time serpentining throughout, storage systems, looking for products, that kind of thing, that has really set the alarm off for us to automate these picking processes. And, one of the things we can do, if you take a look at it, we can do it through different type of fork trucks, as far as aisle size. We can try to get more product in your existing space to get you through these tough times. And, it's something that the automation of either fork trucks or conveyor systems, or to have high density storage, has really helped a lot of people get through this.
Mm-hmm. Dani, your thoughts?
Yes, not having real-time integrated software result in having two separate systems, one ERP system and one warehouse automation system, with lack of integration. That's result of item being placed in the wrong spot. The picker is going to come to pick it up, doesn't find it. And when you speak to the customers, they think they have the inventory in stock, while they don't really have it, or they have less inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, I think the key takeaway from this webinar for everyone is, if you can take the power of Dani's ERP and WMS system and combine it with automation and a good storage system, that is going to give you the most productivity and bang for your buck, and help you to fulfill your customers' needs.
Absolutely. Nice summary. Thanks, John. With that, we'll move to see if folks entered anything. And if you can get to poll EV, that'd be great. We see these challenges, upgrade funding, those costs going up, as we said, employee retention issues, as John mentioned, limited space, and just getting available space as packaging gets bulkier and bulkier, more door-to-door shipments, which adds to space. So we're moving from a time of where we would stock a warehouse and stock large stores. Now we're going straight to the door of a business and or a home, and it's the added costs are quite a bit to do that. And that's, I think, one of the biggest challenges we have as we transition to door to door, or the last mile, as we call it. That's the trigger of driving all that. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for entering those ideas and what your challenges are. So we have,
I think, Jim, that based with the customers' expectations now, the Amazons of the world have driven, all distribution to a new level.
Yeah.
And customers, they don't want to hear that they're going to have to wait. They think it's going to be on their doorstep within, the next day, or even that day. So that's why on the back end you have to be much more productive.
Yes, absolutely. Not sure what something about me. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. The challenges. I'm not sure my name's in there for. But thanks for entering in the challenges and participating. If you have any direct questions or comments, please do enter them in the chat and we'll bring them up. Thanks for participating. This is the first of many polls.
I see on there, Jim, 3PL. And one of the things about what we're seeing with 3PLs is that more than ever before, they're starting to look at automation.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know the labor problem that's around. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you, there's a question in the chat about RFIDs for tracking products and warehouse systems. I know that my clients have been using RFIDs for the last 10 or 15 years. The cost of RFIDs have dramatically reduced, and the effectiveness is gone up. All the issues have been addressed, and now you're talking pennies for an RFID. So it's not a cost issue anymore. And a lot of folks said that it was an issue because of chemicals or metal and so forth.
Liquids, yeah, liquid.
Liquids, but all
Yes.
those issues have been resolved. You can get RFIDs to address all those type of issues. We've been doing it for at least the last 7 years with my clients.
Yeah, we haven't seen it that much, but what's happened is, when it came out, Walmart and the Department of Defense were driving it, and it was supposed to replace barcoding. But,
Yes.
you still see barcoding predominant in the industry. And, we've done some jobs and the cost of the chips were high, but now they have come down like any other technology. We just did a conveyor system that had an RFID tunnel in it, and it works well. So just have to see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a real-time location systems, RTLS, which is where you don't even need a tunnel.
Right.
And so there's quite a bit of technology out there, and if you need some help on that, we can definitely help you with getting the right technology for your system. Great discussion. Dani, any comments on this part, on challenges here before we move to
another issue is people are using smartphone. When you pick up at eye level, a $300 smartphone will do the job that a $3,000 gun will do it. Require very little training. And another option is a headset, which tells you what to pick up. It goes for produce. We have no barcode, or for frozen area where it's very difficult to hold the RF gun. So we tell you in a voice pick where to go and how much to put what location in multiple languages.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the voice activation, we'll see a lot more of that in the future. Of course, we've been using that technology for years, but it's become pretty common now. Great points, Dani. Okay. With that, I think we'll move to the next section, embracing warehouse automation, which will be led by John. First, some challenges in the spatialization space. John, for you to comment.
Yeah, as far as changing SKUs, this is something that's been prevalent for a long time. The great part about, when you use the WMS accompanied with the ERP is that it helps you to locate and to change SKUs within a pick module. One of the things we were just talking about before was, voice pick but we could put in pick to light, which is a light system, and that'll help you. But, the WMS will help to change the SKUs. And what's great about when we use a pick module, which is flow racking on two sides with a tri-width conveyor down the middle, one's a power in the middle, and then two gravity skate wheel. You can have a zone pick or what we would call a pick and pass, which is very safe because the pickers are all encompassed within the pick module, and they're not out in an aisle where there's fork trucks going down the aisle. And we've all seen that, where we have pickers going down the aisle and they're, that 55% of their time looking for product. While they're looking for product, you have people driving around with fork trucks out in the main aisle, and that doesn't work either. So, that's something that we can work on.
Excellent. And we'll come back to this after the end of this section, but John, take us through.
What you see here is a little before and after picture. You can see that they're not using all the height in the warehouse. It's not organized. And what we've done is we came in and we organized this. And now when they pick, they can go down the aisle and safely pick all the items. And what we have is we have like 5 levels of pick. And then above that, we have the overstock for the inventory. And this all can be managed with a WMS system for the locators, so you can put the overstock wherever you want. But if you look at the picture on the left, what's happened here is that there's a mezzanine going up, and probably be picking. But what we have here is all the product is down low. It's all high density. You can't get at it. got to climb over boxes to get it, and that just kills your productivity.
Okay.
Just a picture here showing how they're not using the cube within the warehouse. And once again, what we talked about, you have high density, but you don't have any storage up above it. So it's really, it's hindering the picking, and to find product is really tough. So really need, what we would do there is come in and design it. Here, this shows a sortation system. On the left is what we call a narrow belt sorter, which can do 60 to 120 boxes per minute, depending on the size. And we can put this narrow belt sorter in, which costs a lot less than like a shoe sorter. And it's a great thing. And then we have receiving. You see the receiving, and there are scanning tunnels within the receiving there that'll bring it in, and then it goes into an oval. So if it gets a no read, it'll continue on the oval, and then the managers can take a look at the barcode and see if it's okay. And we'll sort all of those by reading the barcode with photo eyes. This shows a pick module, which is the conveyor running down the middle with the flow rack. And we have some shelving on one part, and then we can go 2-3 levels high, which we've done several times. And what it does is it makes for, today, the e-commerce world. And if you look at the end of it, we have these spiral conveyors that will bring the product down, and then they can take it out to shipping and ship it from there. Or a lot of times we will take the conveyor and run it right to pickers and have them pick it and pack it, and then put it on one of those sorters that I just showed you. And the sorter will then sort by whatever we need to do. And I mean, this is what has made Amazon successful. They have mastered all of these things, the picking, the slotting, the sortation. And what it's done is it makes them more productive. And by integrating the controls of the WMS, it makes this pick module smart and intelligent enough that it can do things. And we can do those things that we talked about before. We can put pick to light on the flow rack, which the picker will scan the barcode on the license plate on the box, and it will tell them what to put in that box and when the order is done. And if it's done, they can push it onto the power conveyor and just ship it out to shipping. Or they can use the voice pick with a headset, and the voice will tell them what to pick. So there's a lot of different ways you can take this and make it even more intelligent and link it all back to the WMS, which goes back to the ERP.
So Dani, maybe a few words of linking it up to your ERP, MRP.
I have a prospect now, which is a large food, large beverage distributor, and by using the right WMS software, they can pick up the items at eye level with an iPhone, with a smartphone, which costs $300, and the bulk items use a forklift to go up and pick it up. That's what our software does. Allows customers to use low cost phones for $300 for the item at eye level, and they use the forklift for the bulk item at the top.
Okay, thanks, Dani. Okay, and I think we'll just go ahead and move to the next section here of unleashing the power of a unified database, Dani. So in this, ask you to lead this on what integration challenges have you found in standalone warehouse management and ERP systems?
One of the issues I found out that people get a demo, which is a slideshow, and they leave the people who conduct the demo leave out pieces like full WMS. So after they go live, they find out that they need a WMS standalone software. And then you go into integration issue. A large company I brought in last year had two separate software. One is for the ERP software, The second one is the WMS software. That's result of integration issues. The WMS, the ERP software, so you have the inventory, but the WMS, when they go to pick it up, they don't find it. It's a very common in today's reality. When we give a demo, I have a large distributor that we give them next week with the fourth demo, addressing the business issues by using their data, the business issues, and addressing how we can accommodate the unique requirements. The software integrates to its real-time software over the cloud, and it has a integration to multiple other software, like a tracking software that tells the warehouse people how much will fit on each truck. First drop shipped is in the front, less drop shipped at the end, and when the trucks leave the warehouse, it becomes a GPS.
Okay, so Dani, it's all yours.
This is the whole software. Supply chain, portal, warehouse, accounting, CRM, purchasing, forecasting, and it has the IBM Cognos, which is analytic software built into it. That results in real-time information on the fly. The software runs on the cloud, so ability to track multiple location inventory in real-time mode and know what to buy. We have one client who had 100 location air conditioning plumbing nationwide. So they know in the winter, Florida buy air conditioning, the Northeast buy heater. And it integrates to multiple other software. This is the warehouse management software. It's a fully integrated warehouse software for manufacturing, distribution, and food. And in today's M&A world, a manufacturing by a distributor can be a manufacturer, and the food can be both a manufacturer and distributor. It has warehouse automation, distribution, dock management, logistics, EDI, real-time analytic Cognos, inventory at the item level, and support. The client can order on the phone, or the sales rep can order on the phone inventory, know what they bought in the past, and what item in item movement. That's basically a high-end picture of the whole software. Business operation, ERP, manufacturing, MRP, and warehouse automation all bundled in one package. That's the software. It's all window-based software, and it's real-time integration on the cloud. So you can have dashboard, you can download a spreadsheet, you can customize report on the fly. If the bank asks you for your receivable, financial, or general ledger, give me 10 minutes, I will email it to you. If they ask for your inventory, download your spreadsheet and give it to the bank. If you cannot do it, the bank will tell you, your auditor will turn you down, and you better go to the second lending market, which is high interest. It's a totally 360 view of the entire company.
So we're back at the challenges, Dani and John. Any comments on how integrating these, the warehouse management and the ERP systems to help in cycle counting, dead spots, meaning parts of the warehouse that you can't gain access to sometimes in these types of online systems. Any comments on any of those challenges?
The main issue I see is integration issues. By not having integration issue, you end up with excess inventory or shortage of inventory. And the bigger problem is the customer calls in and you tell the customer, I think I have it in inventory, I will ship it to you. And then the warehouse go to pick up the inventory at this particular spot and they don't find it. And then you call the customer, I don't have it, which creates severe issues.
Yeah, so that's that reconciliation challenge between the customers system and of the inventory and your inventory.
Right.
That is probably one of the biggest challenges out there.
Right,
But-
the integration, the architecture of it, we found, we don't deal with it as much, but the dead spots years ago, there were a lot more problems with that. It seems with technology, it seems to be better today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's something, when you're laying it out, you really have to be careful when you lay it out to make sure you know where those dead spots are and you put, more boosters and receivers in those areas. But it's all manageable today, as you said. All right. Any other comments on this? We move on. All right. So go into the last section here on leveraging intelligent systems insights, and just kind of kick it off with a smart ecosystem. This may look like the future, but this is the type of things that are being done today for the last 5 years, over 5 years now. And the factory of the future, as we would say in the past, is now today. And it's available and it's affordable and really provides strong return on investments. So simulating your warehouse to find the optimized solutions, and then putting in the system with the warehouse racking and conveyors, as John mentioned, and an ERP, MRP overlay is very, very palatable to do and will save you a tremendous amount of money. So, John, your comments.
Yeah, what you see here is a receiving system. You see, picking system, and you also see some robotics involved here. And, robotics is really becoming more and more prevalent, especially now with the discussion of AI and things like that nature. But I will tell you that, more and more we're beginning to see automation because of the labor shortage. It's, we're beginning to look a lot more like the European economy, where in Europe, people get like 8 weeks vacation and they have a labor shortage and they pay people, with the minimum wage always going up now. So a lot of people, years ago in America, we would have in picking systems, they would throw bodies at it. Now they're talking about using, there's robotic arms for picking and sortation systems like you see here, and so on and so forth. So, I think you're going to see more of a move toward the European. And one of the products that we're seeing a lot of is what they call a vertical lift, which can go up to 52 feet high, and it stores small parts. It can be locked up at night for jewelry and so on and so forth. And a lot of people are beginning to use that because in a small footprint, you can store a lot of items. But here you see a lot of automation going on at one time, and from start to finish, from receiving to shipping.
Great. And that leads into some case studies. Just go ahead and go with the case studies, John.
Okay. Yeah, this is a company that we did work for. We built a major pick module, and some of the challenges were they had a lot of SKUs. They had over 4,000 SKUs. So we put it in flow racking. And what we did for them here was they needed to store 2,500 pallets above the pick module. So instead of running like 3 levels of flow rack up, they had 40-foot high ceilings. What we did was we built 3 levels of pushback racking, which was loaded 3 pallets from one side and 4 from another. And we got to the 2,500 pallets, and it was all above their pick module, which you see here. What we've done, one of the things is we use a product called Span Track. And when you see better carton support, a lot of the cardboard that comes from the Far East is very flimsy. So what we did is Span Track is a system of a roller as opposed to the little nylon wheels you used to see. So everything rolls a lot better. We also have the high density storage up above, and as you can see, their order picking increased threefold as far as accuracy also. So it was a very good project and helped them. What they do, Master Cutlery, is they supply knives and swords and all kinds of things like that for hunting, or people collect swords. And one of the challenges on the conveyor system was that we had to design it for the box to be 6 foot long to get the swords around the bend. Here's this is a hardware distributor. They do a lot of kitchen cabinet hardware, very large in that industry. And what they did was they needed space. So we put a mezzanine in, and they doubled their picking area, and we put in a chute. You can see there, that was just one of our innovative things. And what we did was, by gravity, we brought it down. Instead of putting in an expensive lift, we brought it down on the gravity lift, and they then take it and they box it out for shipping. And here's the comment from Tom McGinnis, who was the CEO and president at the time, that we installed it, put it up, and it was hardly noisy or no disruption to their everyday operation. So that was a very successful thing for us, and that goes back to their SKUs change constantly because of the change. It's almost like fashion, the doorknobs and handles, they change with whatever's in style. So he has a lot of different SKUs that are going on at the same time, and we were able to accommodate him with that.
Thanks, John. Excellent case studies. If you have any challenges that you want to talk about, please do enter them into the chat. I think we talked about both of these challenges, so we'll just move on with Dani and his case studies.
This is a case study of integrated warehouse automation with ERP. On the left side, you see who they are and the issues they have. And on the right side, the savings. As you can see, the accuracy is pretty high. For fulfillment, 96%. Accuracy, 99.5%. And this is the comment by the warehouse management. You can see the purchasing, the programmer analyst information that used Cognos, which is real-time information, being able to build any on the fly flow charts, pie charts, items for the executive to know what the inventory level is, who buys, what to buy, how much you buy, and the receivable issue. And it can be downloaded to a spreadsheet on the fly. This is another case study, international distributor. The software, as I said before, it's a software for manufacturing, distribution, and food. This one had quite a bit of issues of having multiple issues with dealing with the retailers. And that's the solutions they received. They reduced the variance from 200,000 to 7,000. And they estimate the software at the warehouse automation, which is part of the VI software, will save them 50% overhead. And they drop from 170,000 variance to 5,000 per year. That's the nice thing about one-stop shopping software, when the warehouse management and the ERP are hooked together, so you don't have broken link resulting in inaccurate data.
Yeah, Dani, I have to comment. This is such a great case study of affecting the bottom line with cash flow, having that real-time inventory available for you, using advanced ship notices, having that handshake between the suppliers and the customers to know what your inventory is. This is just a fantastic case study of showing how much of an impact it can have on your bottom line. And as we go through the financials, different metrics that are gained in a few slides, this one just kind of screams out to what a success story. Congratulations to you and your team. So with that, we encourage you to ask questions in the chat. And just to close it out, we do have this slide here that kind of goes through all of the financial impacts that you would expect to see. Of course, depending on what you're doing, you're going to see different impacts, and depending on where you are at today, will also impact your benefits. But both Dani and John are very experienced in this area to make sure that you get that return on investment of less than a year, typical savings, 500,000 to $1 million a year easily in a warehouse, and really would impact your bottom line, especially as cash is king is becoming more of an issue here as times get tighter and we work through this, the rest of our recession here, that or inflationary recession that we have. John, your thoughts?
Yeah, if you see that list, I think one that really stands out is enable better accuracy. Some of these systems I talked about, we can increase accuracy to 99%. And I'm sure many of you know, when your wife opens that box and expects those pair of shoes to be in the box, and if they're the wrong thing, that can really hurt your chances of getting another order. So, accuracy is extremely important, in distribution and space utilization, as we talked about before, because of the cost of real estate. You really need to focus on that. And through our design and engineering capabilities, we can help with that. And if you saw some of that underutilized space that we showed you today, we've gone into places and made it where they can do more with less space, which is really beneficial to all of you when it comes down to the bottom line.
Dani, your thoughts?
Having control on inventory today is a major issue because of shortage. People are overstocking now, and you have to know what to buy, how much to buy, and when to buy. Prior to COVID, they told the vendor, give me the best price, drop it to the warehouse or to the customer. Today is a different issue. Never mind the low price, delivery time. Late delivery result in order cancellation, production disruption, excess inventory, which equal cash flow issue. The second issue is tracking the inventory. If you don't have integrated system, you think you have the inventory in stock, but you find that you don't have it in stock, or you have too much in stock. In the RFID, we have a client who came from a 40 years old legacy software, and when they saw the $3,000, the $4,000 gun, they froze. What the hell is that? So they gave him a smartphone with an RFID on it, $300 the phone, and they get 99.9 accuracy now. It's a seamless integration between the warehouse and the ERP, which is a very important factor. And another issue is, since you're on the cloud, you can see real time what every warehouse has nationwide.
Nice summary. So with that, just make sure that we covered our deliverables of talking about real-time information across multiple locations. We discussed discovering opportunities to increase productivity, achieving accuracy by streamlining user interfaces, and of course the turnkey ERP warehouse management system and material handling automation to drive productivity. So with that, we encourage you to follow up with questions to Dani and or John or myself, and we look forward to future webinars. Just last few words, John, closing it out.
Whether we're designing an entire material handling system or supplying a single piece of equipment, our focus is the same: providing technologies that will deliver maximum performance to you, our customers, in your operating environment. I think the key takeaway is what I said before from this is how you can use the power of Dani ERP and our warehouse automation to increase your productivity.
Thanks, John. Dani?
One of the major mistakes people make when they buy when they come from legacy software, that they get a slideshow demo of beautiful screens without addressing the business issue. The way we work, we have multiple demos with the customer information, with the customer business issue, addressing the business issues, and we show them live customer location in the same industry that came from where they did and where they are today. We have pretty large success, the success story on my website, smcdata.com.
Thanks, Dani. And just my closing thoughts. In today's VUCA world, volatile world, it's ever important to optimize our assets, our infrastructure, with warehouse management and an integrated ERP WMS, which is what John and Dani have shown us today, how important that is and how much power it can help you in creating that smart ecosystem. And it is viable today. Maybe 10 years ago it wasn't, but today it's very viable and it's needed in order for you to optimize the limited warehouse capacity that we have out on the market today. And it will be even more important as years to come. So and we all know that it's through leveraging each other that we all become more resilient. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your feedback and attendance to future webinars. Have a great day.